He is currently the Director of the Institute of Photonics and Advanced Sensing, the Chair of the Experimental Physics at the University of Adelaide, Managing Director and co-founder of a rapidly growing essay company, Quantex Labs, and Fellow of the Australian Academy of Technology and Engineering. Then if you go to the academic side, he's raised $34 million for research, receiving the Bragg Medal for his PhD, was the inaugural WA Young Scientist of the Year and an inaugural SA Premier's Research Fellow, and was also awarded the National Measurement Institute's Barry Inglis Medal. He has demonstrated his leadership in support of industry and was recognised in the Australian Institute of Physics Alan Walsh Medal for Service to Industry and the prestigious Eureka Prize for Outstanding Service in Safeguarding Australia. He must have a very big pool room and he's about to add his next award to it. Please congratulate Professor.
Thank you all. It's a wonderful honour to be up here. You saw the amazing quality of the other candidates in this section and all of the other amazing stories we've seen today. It feels like a terrific honour to be up here. I wanted to start with a little story that 10 years ago I was in a dusty basement in a rather ugly building on the University of Western Australia campus. I was living the dream of many scientists. I had lots and lots of ideas and a really brilliant team of people. We took our ideas, we convinced government to invest in it, and we worked really hard and we were able to discover something new about nature or create a new invention or solve a problem in a way that nobody had ever done before. Now this generated a nice paper or a patent or some great know-how, and we would take that new intellectual property and put it up on a shelf in the pool room. Thank you, Ali. Now the life of a scientist is then to go back and start again, have a new idea, find new money, and bring it to the point where we create some new amazing intellectual property, and that gets put up on that same shelf in the pool room with all of the other outcomes that have come before, and they all sit there gathering dust. I could say that this is have an idea, mix it up with somebody else's money, and generate some intellectual property. And around this time, when I was happily doing this, I got a phone call from Tanya Munro, who was my predecessor at running iPads at the University of Adelaide. She told me that Adelaide streets were paved with gold and that I should get myself and my team to Adelaide. So naively, but very fortunately, I and my team actually listened to what she said. And we moved here, the 12 of us moved here in 2013. Now, annoyingly, it turns out she was right. It is paved with gold here, and it's annoying because, Tanya's always right. So what was she right about? There's something really special going on in Adelaide. It's perhaps connected to its foundation and its strong manufacturing legacy, but it makes it a unique incubator for innovation. So coupled with great investment and support from the government in South Australia and the University of Adelaide, I reached an entirely different way of understanding how I should, live my life and do business. It changed my worldview. I was able to find a customer for what I did here in South Australia. One that was willing to pay us to create and deliver new products. And so this is the new way of doing business. I could go back to the shelf in my pool room and I could dust off that IP and I could turn it into a product that serviced the needs of a customer. So perhaps mixing IP with a customer, and we could turn it into a product, and if we do it right, ultimately into some money. So let's follow this loop, In the old days, in the university environment, I had an idea, and I took money, and I generated IP. And now, I'm taking IP, mixing it up with a customer, and generating money. And you can see, perhaps, what I'm talking about here. This is an amazing virtuous circle, a symbiotic relationship between the university and industry. And this tight circle can go faster and faster and faster and lead to benefits for both the research sector and the universities. How well is this working? In the last 3 years, my company's earned $10 million, but it's also generated $16 million extra for my research lab. iPads itself has landed over $20 million in the last financial year. This is creating great jobs for young South Australians and pushing money into the economy. I'm the most proud of anything I've done in my career because this is happening. So for all of this to work, it really required a free and fertile environment to encourage innovation. And I want to thank the South Australian governments, the last three that have been here while I've been in South Australia, because all of them have really supported that environment in an amazing way, and that is absolutely terrific. And I want to thank the University of Adelaide for allowing me to dream big. This all required me finding a customer, and a great thank you needs to go to the Defence Science and Technology Group here in South Australia, which has supported and facilitated the finding of customers. And a special thank you to those particular people within DST Group that had the courage and willingness to use their credibility to make all of this happen. Equally importantly, I've been surrounded by a great and diverse team of people in my family, at the university, in my company and in life, and they've supported and contributed and guided and influenced me to make all of this come true. And I'm eternally grateful for what they've done for me, and I'll never forget what they did and what they're still doing to help me. Their work has really been indispensable in my success. So finally, all of this, as Ali said, not only do I need a big shelf in the pool room, but I've also, spent a lot of time on this, and this has an unavoidable impact on people around me. So I really want to say a massive thank you for the understanding and support of both my ex and my kids, Oscar and Abby, and a special huge thank you to my superstar partner Zoe, who can't be here because she's giving a keynote speech tonight in Tasmania, and my new little one Felix. They are doing their best to teach me about balance, and fingers crossed it starts to happen one day, Thank you very much.
I think that shows why, it's just such a privilege to be in the room with people like that, because he can find those roads of gold. The only gold I've ever found on an Adelaide street are those ones, like those coins stuck outside the target. Yeah, I still try to pick them up. All right.